How do hackers do it? How do attackers gain access to sites? Spoiler, it's really nothing like the movies. There's very little typing involved, and it really is all about exploiting logical errors and the absence of security measures. One of the most common methods is exploiting vulnerabilities. Once the hackers know about a vulnerability, their first goal is to get access to a privileged user account. Think administrator access. And as you'd expect, once they have access, they can easily upload malware and start wreaking havoc. They can get this access in a few ways. Number one is session hijacking. Whenever you log into your website, your browser saves a session cookie. Attackers love this because they don't need to worry about passwords to log in. Typically, they need to access the device where your initial login took place. They cooperate with other cybercriminals to get this. More specifically, the ones that focus on infecting devices via installable software. Number two, brute force attacks. It's safe to say that if a page is publicly accessible on the internet, it's almost guaranteed to have been targeted by a brute force attack. They're launched from large networks, often referred to as botnets, of previously compromised sites. These bots are set up to perform attacks using word lists and millions of combinations of made-up as well as legitimate leaked usernames and passwords. Number three, leaked credentials. Your tech stack can do everything in its power to protect you, but if one of your users still chooses to make their password pizza123, it won't make much of a difference. And unfortunately, most people still use the same email and password combinations on different websites, many of which also store this information in plain text. The result of this is that as soon as one of those sites is compromised, attackers are able to test your credentials on other accounts. Password dumps like this are common and bestsellers in different illegitimate marketplaces. Number four, phishing. Social engineering remains one of the attacks that's most difficult to prevent. Attackers have become very good at imitating legitimate representatives of companies, sending legitimate-looking emails that require you to reset passwords. It can actually be quite difficult to spot. There are even cases where bad actors manage to capitalize the P in WordPress. Imagine that. Number five, nulled plugins and themes. Attackers get their hands on premium plugins and then redistribute them, removing the license key checks. So people who aren't willing to pay are tempted to download them for free. Never do this because the people redistributing plugins aren't Robin Hood doing it for the good of the people. The underlying code also comes with backdoors and malware that gives the attacker complete control over the site. I really cannot emphasize this enough. Even if you just want to test a feature on a plugin, do not use nulled plugins. Reach out to the developer, try to get a sandbox site set up, or take advantage of their refund policy. But people infecting their sites by doing this is far more common than it should be. And number six, plugins with backdoors. If developers get tired of maintaining a plugin, often free, they can decide to sell or hand it over. Attackers look for opportunities like this that allow them to take over a plugin and release a backdoor as a part of an official update. In 2023 alone, we added 5,948 vulnerabilities to the PatchStack vulnerability database. That was 24% more than in the prior year. We also reported 827 plugins and themes as abandoned to the WordPress team, 58% of which were subsequently removed from the repository. The result of this is that plugins are closed, won't be updated, and people who have it installed won't even know that the software they have installed is either dangerous or entirely no longer supported. PatchStack prevents these exploits. Instead of waiting around for updates from developers, you get immediate protection that prevents attackers from exploiting vulnerabilities. When hackers try to take advantage of the vulnerability, they'll simply be blocked. Your website code and performance won't be affected, but you'll have more time to wait and subsequently apply the developer's updates at a time that's convenient for you.